welcome back to my channel. In this class, we are going to discuss about the outbreeding devices for cross-pollination. I think you are all familiar with the definition of cross-pollination. You have studied the agents of cross-pollination. Everything we have discussed in the previous class. Now, we are starting with the outbreeding devices. What do you mean by outbreeding? So here, outbreeding is nothing but the crossing between different breeds with no common ancestor. Crossing between different breeds. We are taking different breeds without a common ancestor, that is called as outbreeding. You know, in case of majority of the flowering plants, they usually produce hermaphrodite flowers. Hermaphrodite is nothing but the bisexual flower. So majority of the flowering plants produces bisexual flowers. So bisexual means they contain both male and female sex organs in the same flower. If they contain both male and female sex organs in the same flower, usually the pollen grains which are present within the anthers, they usually fall on the stigma of the same flower. If the pollen grains falls on the stigma of the same flower, it usually results in self-pollination. So in which condition self-pollination occurs? Usually the anthers which contain pollen grains, those pollen grains will fall on the stigma of the same flower, which leads to self-pollination. Actually, when this pistil as well as stamens, or else we can say the stigma as well as anther, both matures at the same time. If both matures at the same time, usually it results in self-pollination. But do you know the continuous or repeated self-pollination leads to inbreeding depression? Leads to inbreeding depression. So what do you mean by inbreeding depression? It is nothing but the loss of vigor and general health. Or else we can say that the reduction in the biological fitness. We can simply say that the continuous self-pollination leads to sterility, that is only called as inbreeding depression. So what I am going to say is, if continuous self-pollination occurs, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower, if it occurs for several generations, it leads to the inbreeding depression. So these flowering plants, in order to overcome from these inbreeding depression, they usually discourage self-pollination and they encourage cross-pollination. So when we know the advantages of cross-pollination, we can understand better. So try to understand here the flowering plants. Majority of the flowering plants, they produce certain devices. Why they produce certain devices? In order to overcome from the inbreeding depression. So that the flowering plants, they discourage the self-pollination and they encourage cross-pollination by developing certain devices. Those are called as outbreeding devices. Then which are the outbreeding devices which discourages self-pollination and encourages cross-pollination? So these are the devices, namely dichogamy, heterostyle, self-incompatibility, hercogamy, dicliny, also called as unisexuality, and lastly prepotency. These are the outbreeding devices which is very important in point of your examination. So it is very important for your examination. So try to understand. So firstly, we are going to discuss about the dichogamy. So what do you mean by dichogamy? It is the anther and stigma, they mature at different times. If anther and stigma matures at the same time, it results in self-pollination. If they mature at different time, it usually leads to cross-pollination. Actually, here also we are talking about a bisexual flower only. In a bisexual flower, which contain both androecium as well as gynoecium. But even though both the sex organs are present, the anthers and stigma matures at a different time in order to encourage cross-pollination and to discourage self-pollination. So how this will occur? Let us see the types of dichogamy. Here there are two different types, namely protandry and other one is called as protogyny. These are important. So protandry, here proto refers to first, andros refers to male, I mean to say male sex organ, that is stamen or androecium. So what happens in this case of protandry? In this case, the anthers matures but these pollen grains cannot germinate on the stigma. Why they cannot germinate? Because the stigma is not mature. So that is the case in a protandry. Andry refers to anthers, or we can say the stamens. So here the anthers matures earlier than the stigma. So these pollen grains which are present in this anther cannot be available to this stigma because the stigma is not mature. Then what happened to these pollen grains? These pollen grains can be available to the older flowers which have a mature stigma. So that is in case of protandry. Example we can see in case of sunflower. Yes, in sunflower the anthers will mature first than that of the stigma. So here if these pollen grains will be available to some other flower, which usually leads to cross pollination and it prevents self pollination. This is one type. And one more type, it is a protogyny. Proto first, gyny the female sex organ, gynation. So in this case, the stigma will mature earlier than the anther. Here, the stigma is matured but not anthers. Again, it prevents self-pollination. How it prevents self-pollination? Because these pollen grains which cannot be available to the stigma. Because the anther is not matured, only stigma is matured. Then how cross-pollination can occur? So this stigma is matured and it can receive the pollen grains from some other flowers. It can receive the pollen grains from some other flower, so induces cross-pollination but preventing self-pollination. So this condition can be seen in case of Mirabilis jalapa, that we can commonly call as 4 o'clock plant. So this is about dichogamy. So here the maturation of anther and stigma are different types. One is the protandry, protogyny. Protandry, anthers matures earlier than the stigma. Protogyny, the stigma matures earlier than the anthers. Now we are moving on to the another type, that is heterostyle. So what is this heterostyle? Here the placement of anthers and stigma at a different position. Here we discuss the maturation of different times. Now heterostyle means the placement of anther and stigma at different positions so that it discourages or prevents self-pollination and favors the cross-pollination. Let us understand by taking certain examples. Usually in certain plant species they produce 2 or 3 types of flowers. In a single plant, they can produce 2 or 3 types of flowers. Let us understand. See, in certain plant types, it is called as a diheterostyle, which can also be called as a dimorphic heterostyle. So, diheterostyle is nothing but dimorphic heterostyle. This condition can be seen in case of primula as well as jasmine. In primula and jasmine, the condition is called as a diheterostyle or dimorphic heterostyle. So what do you mean by dimorphic heterostyle? Here, in these plants, they produce 2 different types of flowers. They produce 2 different types of flowers. Namely, the first type is called as pin-eyed flower and the second type is called as thumb-eyed flower. So in case of primula and jasmine, they produce 2 different types of flowers, namely pin-eyed as well as thumb-eyed. So in this pin-eyed, they contain, actually it is mainly based on the eyes of the style as well as stamen. As I said, there are 2 or 3 types of flowers and usually different eyes of styles as well as stamens. So in this pin-eyed flower, we can observe a long style but short stamens. In pin-eyed, long style but short stamens. In thumb-eyed, a short style whereas the long stamens. So these are the 2 types of flowers we can see in case of primula and jasmine. That's why the condition is called as a diheterostyle or dimorphic heterostyle. Then how cross-pollination occurs? Here, the pollination occurs between the stigmas and anthers of the same height. For example, here the stigma is very far from the anthers. So, the They cannot receive the pollen grains from this anther or the stigma of this. And even here also the stigma is very short, the style is very short, so that the stigma is here, they cannot receive pollen grains from this anther. So usually these two preventing self-pollination, but they will favor cross-pollination. As I said, the pollination occurs between the anthers and stigmas of the same height. You can observe the pollen grains which are present in this anther can come in contact with this stigma. Again, the pollen grains which are present in this anther can come in contact with this stigma based on the height. So mainly the pollination occurs between the stigmas and anthers of the same height. This is in case of diheterostyle or dimorphic heterostyle. And one more type, it is a triheterostyle. Triheterostyle, it is also called as a trimorphic heterostyle or also called as tristyle. So triheterostyle can also be called as a tristyle or trimorphic heterostyle. This can be seen in case of Lythrum. In case of Lythrum, here it produces three different types of flowers, mainly based on the length of the style as well as stems. So which are the three types of the flowers? Here we can observe these are the three different types of flowers produced in Lythrum. So we can observe in this flower, there is a elongated style. There is a elongated style, whereas which contain a medium sized as well as short stamens. There are three types of styles and three types of stamens. Here we can observe a elongated or long style but medium and short stamens. In the next case, they contain medium sized style. Medium sized style and long stamens and short stamens. In the third case, the short style, whereas the long and medium sized anthers. I repeat. So here in the first case, elongated, a long style, medium and short anthers. In the next case, medium style, long and short anthers. In the next case, a short style, long and medium anthers. So usually here the self-pollination is usually prevented because here the stigma is very far, they cannot receive the pollen grains from this anthers. So it prevents self-pollination. Here also the anthers are very far from the stigma, so usually it also prevents the self-pollination. And in the next case also the stigma is here but the anthers are very far, so they cannot receive the pollen grains from the same flower. And as I already mentioned, the pollination occurs between the stigma and anthers which are of the same height. For example, so this is the long style which can receive pollen grains from long anthers. For example, this is the long anther which contains pollen grains. These pollen grains are usually falls on the stigma. Even from this flower, as they contain a long anther, so usually these are also falls on the stigma of this flower. And again, so this is the medium style which can receive pollen grains from medium anthers. They can receive from medium anthers. Similarly, so this is a short style and this stigma can receive pollen grains from short anthers. So this is how cross-pollination can be seen in case of heterostyle. So example we have discussed diheterostyle, triheterostyle with examples. So these are all important how cross-pollination can be favored by preventing self-pollination. And the next type is called as self-incompatibility. What do you mean by self-incompatibility? It is nothing but the pollen grains are incapable to germinate over the stigma of the same flower. Even though the flower is bisexual, which contain anther as well as stigma, but when these pollen grains, when they come in contact with the stigma, the pollen grains are incapable or they fail to germinate over the stigma of the same flower. It is called as self-incompatibility seen in case of tobacco. So in tobacco, we can observe the self-incompatibility. The pollen grains are are incapable to germinate over the stigma of the same flower. So why they cannot germinate means it is due to the genes, the sterile genes which may be present on the stigma or in the pollen grains. So that is self-incompatibility. And the next type is called as Harcogamy. So what is this Harcogamy means? Here it is a condition in which a physical barrier is present between the anther and stigma. If there is any physical barrier present between the anther and stigma, such a condition is called as Harcogamy. Actually, these are the mechanical devices which usually prevent self-pollination and favors cross-pollination. Best example, calotropes. Even we can take one more example in case of orchids. So in calotropes and orchids, the pollen grains cannot be seen like this. So usually these pollen grains are produced in sacs called as pollinia. The pollen grains are produced in a sacs called as pollinia, and there are two pollinia which are connected by a translator. The pollinia are connected by a translator, and this translator can be lifted only by insects. If the insects lift this translator, the pollen grains are released. Otherwise, the pollen grains cannot be released. They cannot come in contact with the stigma. So these are the mechanical devices or physical barriers which prevent self-pollination and favors the cross-pollination in case of calotropes. Even in some other flowers, when we observe, these are the corolla lobes. So the corolla lobes will be like this. The stigma, it is very far. Our stigma is exposed, whereas the anthers are within the corolla lobes. If the anthers are within the corolla lobes, the corolla lobe is the physical barrier which prevents self-pollination. So that is the Harcogamy seen in case of calotropes and orchids. And next type is dicliny, can also be called as unisexuality. Then what is a dicliny? The production of unisexual flowers is called as dicliny or unisexuality. You may be knowing that plants may be monoecious or they may be dioecious. If they are monoecious, both male and female flowers are present in the same plant. If it is a dioecious, the male and female flowers are produced on different plants. So if both male and female flowers are present in the same plant, you can take example in case of certain cucurbits and some other species, where in the same plant both a male flower is present and female flower is present. A male flower containing male sex organ, that is androecium, and a female flower containing a female sex organ, that is gynoecium. So in such a cases, in a monoecious plant, if both the male and female flowers are present on the same plant, in that case, the autogamy can be prevented but not getinogamy. You just recall what is autogamy and what is getinogamy. Autogamy, it is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower is called as autogamy. So in the monoecious plants, we can prevent autogamy because they contain only a single sex organ or unisexual flowers. But the getinogamy cannot be prevented because within the same plant, male and female sex organs are present. Male and female flowers are present, so it can prevent autogamy but not getinogamy. Getinogamy is the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to stigma of the another flower within the same plant. So in monoecious plants, the autogamy can be prevented but not getinogamy. If a getinogamy occurs means it is a type of self-pollination. But in dioecious plants, as I said, they produce the male and female flowers on different plants. So if they produce male and female flowers on different plants, there is no possibility for autogamy and getinogamy. Then ultimately xenogamy will be taking place, that is cross-pollination will be taking place. Because one plant contains a male flower, another plant contains a female flower. So from the male flower, the pollen grains will be transferred onto the stigma of the female flower. It leads to cross-pollination and preventing the self-pollination that can be seen in case of papaya. You may be familiar with the papaya. So papaya, it is a dioecious plant. It is a dioecious plant where in some plants male flowers are present, in some plants female flowers are present. That is called dicliny or unisexuality. And the next type is called as prepotency. So what do you mean by prepotency? Which means the pollen grains of another flower can germinate more rapidly on the stigma of some other flower. For example, you just imagine, so this is one flower. These pollen grains, they usually germinate slowly on the stigma of the same flower. But the pollen grains from some other flower can be able to germinate more rapidly than that of the pollen grains of the same flower. That is called as prepotency. The pollen grains of some other flower will germinate more rapidly than the pollen grains of the same flower. That condition can be seen in apple, grapes, etc. So these are the outbreeding devices that are developed by flowering plants to prevent self-pollination and to favor the cross-pollination. And so this completes the outbreeding devices. Let us see now what are the advantages of cross-pollination. Actually, in case of self-pollination, there is no genetic recombination or variation. But one of the greatest advantage of cross-pollination is it usually introduces genetic recombination and variation. So due to variation, the organism can better adjust with the changing environmental conditions, that we can call it as adaptability. So cross-pollination increases adaptability of the offsprings to adjust with the changing environmental conditions. And so the plants which are produced by cross-pollination, they are usually more resistant to diseases. They are usually more resistant to diseases, and whatever the seeds produced by the cross-pollination, they have characters which are better than that of the parents. And sometimes the undesirable characters can be eliminated and desirable characters can be replaced in this cross-pollination. And due to the variation and adaptability, the organism can better survive for its existence. So the survival for existence or struggle for existence, that you will study in the chapter evolution. Here, due to the adaptation property, the organism will be struggling for its existence. So it is better fitted for the struggle for existence. So these are certain advantages of cross-pollination, and this completes cross-pollination.